to show you all how to make some really good enchiladas. I love being Mexican, especially because I really enjoy making and eating all the Mexican food, and it is so good, but I want to share it with you. So today I am making 3 different types of enchiladas because Andy wanted 3 different types, and that's fine because that means I get more of the chicken and he can have the other stuff. So, in order to make enchiladas, you need tortillas. I have giant tortillas. My dad found these, I don't know where, but they are really good. The ones that I have here are some kind of like garlic tortilla. I don't really care for them, but Andy likes them, so he can have the refried beans on these tortillas. I also have regular giant tortillas. I am using some of the Ortega taco sauce. This is just the mild sauce. I like it on tacos. I like it basically on every Mexican dish, so I'm still using this for my stuff. I have some of the Knorr taco rice that is going to be going in every single one of these tortilla shells. I am using just some Old El Paso red enchilada sauce. I have 2 cans of these just because I have a lot of enchiladas to make. I am also, for Andy, using the Old El Paso refried beans. I don't eat these. He loves them. He can have them. And then finally, I have 93.7 ground beef that I have on the stove still and some chicken tenders. So I'm going to have beef and chicken enchiladas too. And then I will top that with some 4 cheese Mexican blend shredded cheese. So let's make some enchiladas. We are going to make the bean enchiladas first. So you're going to take your tortilla and just stick it on a plate. Whatever you put in your enchilada as far as any other extra flavoring doesn't really matter. The main thing is to make sure you have your tortilla, your meat or beans in this case, some cheese and sauce. So you're going to take your beans, as delicious as this looks, and just place it in your tortilla. You don't want to fill your tortilla because whenever you fold it, it can get really bulky and everything will just kind of fall out of it. I am now going to take some of my taco rice that I made, and I'm going to put a little bit in here on top of that. Again, you don't want to put too much for the same reason. You really don't want your tortilla to overflow. And this is all that is going in the tortilla itself. So you're going to fold your tortilla up, and you want to make it so that everything is enclosed. And you're going to take this, and there's a hole in this tortilla, and you're going to put it seam down in your baking dish. And that's it. That's all you're doing so far. So now your next tortilla is still going to be a bean tortilla. And just this little bit that fell off on the plate is going in the tortilla. So since these are really big tortillas, I'm only using 2 to make these beans. And I'm just going to empty out this can in this last tortilla itself because there's not going to be that much. Okay. Ew. Sorry guys, I absolutely hate having things on my fingers. Anyway. So just like the last one, we got the beans. We're going to take some of the taco rice again. Just stick that in there. And we're going to fold it up just like the other one. Hopefully this tortilla does not have a hole. And again, seam side down, and of course this one has a hole in it too. I don't know where my dad got these tortillas from, but they are not holding up like they should be. I don't know the brand, but I am not a fan of this. Okay, I'm gonna go switch plates out and then we're gonna move on to the meats. On these tortillas, we're just going to use normal tortillas, and of course this one has a hole in it. Are there any of these tortillas that don't have holes? Oh, that's a good one. Okay, we're gonna do the chicken ones first. So I just diced up my chicken and I put them in a bowl to save a little bit of room up here. And just like with the bean tortillas, we are going to take some chicken and just place that on our tortilla. And I feel like I have more chicken here than I'm gonna have room for. I'm gonna have to get out another baking dish. Okay, so we have our chicken. We are now going to take some rice and we're gonna place it in there. And we'll do one more. Now, because I like to have taco seasoning or taco sauce in my enchiladas, I'm going to take my Ortega mild taco sauce after I get whatever this is off my fingers. And I am going to drizzle some of that in my tortilla, if I can get this off. There we go. There it is. Okay, so not a whole lot because we are going to add some enchilada sauce, but just enough to give it that little extra zest. Okay. And then just like with the other ones, and I'm gonna actually get these tortillas out of the way so I can have my dish. We're gonna fold it up and place it inside, seam side down, on our baking dish. And I think there's gonna be a hole in like every single one of these tortillas. Do not recommend. If you're gonna use tortillas, I think El Paso or Chi-Chi's is what I typically use. But like I said, my dad found these, so I figured I'd give them a shot. What do I have to lose? And apparently a lot of the food inside of it. Alright, so we got chicken. Got some rice. And we got a little bit of taco sauce. Okay. As far as the prep work goes, this is basically it. So you want to brown your ground meat, you want to cook your chicken, and then you can start using, this one's going to be messy, the tortilla shells in the baking dishes and all that jazz. And as you're doing this, you do want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Even though your meat and everything is cooked, you want to make sure that everything heats through, including your tortilla, the enchilada sauce, your beans, basically all that stuff. I'm not going to put a whole lot in that, and this one is not getting taco sauce just because there's going to be so much of it everywhere as it is. And as you can see, there's our hole. Okay. Alright, this one I am going to combine the rest of the chicken because I don't have that much with the ground meat. So this one's kind of going to be like a double one, which honestly I am probably going to have for myself. Okay, so we have our ground meat here. I did season this a little bit. I did put some salt, pepper, and garlic and onion powder. Shoot, I did not cut up my onion. Anyway, I'll have to do that. But we're gonna add some ground meat and chicken to this one. A little bit more ground meat than chicken. Okay, this one has a giant hole in it too, so again, no taco sauce in this one. Really, I might just drizzle some taco sauce over with the enchilada sauce anyway. Okay, so there's that. I'm mad at myself now that I completely forgot. There goes our enchilada. I really hate these tacos, guys. These tortilla shells, like, look at this. Look at this. Do you see this? That is a waste of a perfectly good tortilla. I will be right back. I want to break out another brand. Okay, so I just grabbed the tortillas I usually use, which are Chi-Chi's. So this is the kind that I like. They are nice. And it looks like I have a single tortilla left. So this one is really going to be loaded because one little tortilla is all that we have. Okay. So the remainder of our ground meat is going in here. Well, maybe not the remainder. I'm gonna have to sprinkle some on top because I have too much now. But again, you know, just like with the size of it, you don't want to overstuff your tortilla. So I have that. I'm going to take what's left of my taco rice, and that's gonna go right on top of all this. Okay. Little bit of taco sauce. Okay. And we're gonna fold it up just like the others and stick it right in that little empty slot there. I can get this one to fold because I definitely overstuffed it. Okay. Now, typically, whenever I do these, I do put onion in the tortillas too. But like I said, I completely forgot I even had it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm still going to cut up my onion, but I'm going to sprinkle it over top of all of this. I am then going to lay the enchilada sauce down and throw some cheese on top of it. So let me grab a knife and we're going to start cutting up an onion. We washed our onion and I am just using a Spanish onion. There really isn't anything to it. I got kind of like a medium-sized one. It's not too big, but it's not super soft either. Super small either. So I am going to use all of this, I think. I never really know until I start cutting it up to see just how much is really here. But I do start by taking both of these ends off. And it looks like there's a little bit of a bad spot on this one, as you can see, so we're going to cut around that and make sure we totally get that out of there. But I am going to cut this onion in half. And I'm going to take this much to start with. I'm going to cut this spot off too. And then we can go ahead and start getting that into our enchilada mix. I think I told you to preheat your oven for 375. So if you're making this, make sure you do that before. This can actually go back in that bag for now too, because it'll take a little bit for your oven to preheat since it has to get up a little bit higher than 350. But okay, so we're now going to peel our onion. And I apologize, onions seriously make me cry very, very badly. So if I start like sniffling or trying not to scratch my eyes because they are burning already, that is why. One more layer on. There we go. Okay, so we have our onion. And all I'm going to do is just kind of like slice it up like you would if you were putting it on a hot dog. So we're just going to take long slices. Okay, now I'm actually going to turn you so you can see my baking dishes now. That way you know exactly what I am doing. Okay, so there's our dishes. We have our tortillas laid out. These ones are the beans. These ones are the beef and chicken. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our onion And we're going kind of like cut them up like a little bit of, I don't know what you guys would really call this. But I'm going to lay them on top. I like raw onion for enchiladas just because it really gives it a little bit more flavor, like a little bit more zest to it. We're just kind of going to sprinkle these all over the tortillas because I'm not undoing these. Most of these have the holes in them. And to be honest, I'm not fighting with them anymore. Sorry guys, panic knocked over a hanger. Okay, so we're just going to do this for the whole onion. And we're just kind of going to sprinkle them over top. And really just give it a little bit more flavor. And I guess doing it this way really isn't too bad either because you're still going to get the flavor of the onion. But then if you don't really care for onions themselves, you can just kind of like brush them off the top of your tortilla. So I guess it does kind of have like a little bit of a benefit to it, especially if you have picky eaters. Okay, we're just going to do a couple more of the beans, and then the rest of this is going to go over top of the chicken and the beef. The size of the onion that you're cutting really doesn't make a difference, just like whenever you were cutting up your chicken, it really doesn't matter how big or how small you make them. You just want to make sure that you kind of have enough in here. Okay, that should be good for the bean enchiladas. So now we're just going to move on, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the onion up on the plate, and since it's going all over this, I'm just going to kind of dump it on top. And then I'm also going to sprinkle some of the extra ground beef that I have over top of the bean and over top of the chicken and the beef too. And then really, by the time you get to this part, you're ready to cook them. So we have our onion cut up. I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of lay these over the enchiladas. Just make sure you kind of really cover it to give it that flavor that it would have had if I would have remembered to put the onion in the tortillas. Alright, Andy likes onions, so we can have a little bit more on his beans. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to take the remainder of the meat that is in my skillet. I don't know how well you can see that. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm just going to sprinkle it over, especially like this one since that was my beef one, and this one has some beef and chicken. Just to kind of give it a little bit more. And then I'm going to throw some, just a little bit on top of his beans. Okay, so we have our tortillas together. We have everything in our baking dishes. We are now going to dump the enchilada sauce over top of our tortilla shells. And you want to be pretty generous with this. You know, make sure you really get it nice and covered. Okay, so there's one. And then here is the other. Okay. And now finally, you're going to add just some shredded cheese. I use just the Giant Eagle Mexican 4-cheese blend. And I'm just gonna be extra generous with this. Andy likes a lot of cheese, so I am giving him a lot of cheese. And I will actually do a little bit more than that. Take our cheese, and you know, again, you really want to make sure you cover your enchiladas with it. I'm not going to put a whole lot of cheese on this end of my baking dish just because I can't have that much of it, even though I really like it. So the majority of my cheese is going to go on what Andy is going to eat. So for him, I will give him a little more than what I would usually put. And then we'll just add a little bit more to his beans because he really requested extra cheese this time. Okay, this is what our enchiladas look like before they are baked. What you're going to do is you are going to bake them for about 15 to 22 minutes at 375. And you know, again, there are directions on here on the side of the thing, which I didn't tell you guys. But if you actually want to follow this, by all means go ahead, because enchiladas are one of the simplest things to make. So I'm going to go stick this in the oven, and I will check them in about 17 to 18 minutes to see how they look. You do want to bake them uncovered. You don't want to put like foil or lid or anything on top of that. So I'm going to go place these in, and I'll be back to show you what they look like. The enchiladas are done. They smell so good. This is the beef enchiladas. The cheese is completely melted. You can tell it's really hot from looking at the sauce. And then here are our chicken and beef enchiladas. This side is mine. As you can see, there's really not that much cheese. The rest of it is for Andy, and he can eat as much as his little heart desires. But I'm really excited for this. These enchiladas are something that you are able to make anytime you want to. Like I said, the recipe that I make is super simple, as you saw on video whenever I was preparing them. These are also a really good meal to have, especially with Cinco de Mayo coming up, and you don't want the same old nachos or tacos. You want to spice it up a little bit. Highly recommend making enchiladas. You are not going to be disappointed. But I think this is going to conclude my video for the day. I am going to go ahead and eat up and watch The Masked Singer because I'm really excited for that, and we've got the Super 6 coming up next week. So, until next time, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Follow me on social media, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day.